computer. There it is.
Excellent, excellent. Well, happy, healthy, beautiful Saturday to you all. Eric Higgins here, holistic health coach, calling out of Portugal. Welcome. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend so far. I'm here joined by the amazing Dr. Bob Rakowski. We're on Instagram, so welcome. Hello, everyone on Instagram. Hello, everyone on Zoom. If you do want to have the best experience, we do recommend you guys come onto Zoom because we may be sharing some slides to share some of our mission and our story. So you will get the best sense of it there. So do come over to that. You will see the link in Dr. Bob's stories or in my stories as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. We want to talk about turning our passions into profits. For myself, my mission is to impact the lives of 100,000 people in the next 2 years, sharing a concept where we get to build a business, but also add a lot of value to people in the process. That's what I'm about as a coach. I want to find ways I can help clients get better, faster, fitter, healthier, happier as soon as possible in the most effective, holistic sense possible. I don't think there is a shortcut to any success in life. There is a philosophy in every area of our lives we want to master in order to excel and become the best version of ourselves. So it takes time. So my best advice to you, no matter what you choose to do in your life, surround yourself with people who have reach the level of success that you aspire to reach. Make sure you surround yourself with great people if you want to become a great person, because one thing I do know, and Jim Rohn said this all the time, you become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So if you're not happy with the results in your life currently, have a look at your surroundings, and have a look at what's really going on in your life, and look towards maybe carving out a goal for yourself. Despite all the things going on outside in life, we can always create our own economy, our own happiness, and anything that's going on outside of us is not of our making currently. So I am joined by Dr. Bob Rakowski, a clinical nutritionist, chiropractor, kinesiologist, all-round health, holistic health legend in the field. I think you take that title happily, Dr. Bob. Really you can, because you've helped educate people from all walks of life for over 3 decades, in a way that looks at root cause, functional medicine, looking at the whole picture, but also being a successful entrepreneur as well, dividing your time, looking at different areas you have passions that you've been able to turn into profits. And we're going to talk about one key area that we're both aligned in today, which is sharing something so powerful, so healthy, so accessible for the vast majority of the population, that it's too hard not to share. So welcome to the call. If you're joining us, guys, we're pumped, we're excited, we're on a mission. You can feel our vibration. We want to make this big. We want to create a massive health ripple around the world. And I think there's no better time to help people get wealthier and get healthier in the process. So Dr. Bob, welcome to the call. Great to share the stage, I said stage, it's my actor talk here, but share the screen with you once again.
I think it might have been Shakespeare that said, everything's a stage, right? We're all actors playing those different roles. And I love your beautiful intro, because you play a lot of roles. I play a lot of roles. My most recent role that I really love is I'm a grandfather, 3 beautiful granddaughters, and that's after 34 years of beautiful marriage to a fantastic life partner. 3 beautiful kids. One's just going in the back door. They're visiting. My kids are advanced and healthy and happy and out on their own and creating wonderful, thriving humans. And it's a beautiful pre-spring, even though I'm going to call it spring day. Opportunity is in the air. The sunshine is there. The warmth is there. Things are growing in green. And how wonderful that we have something that if people want to partner with us and share, they can make the world better, literally with every sip.
I love that. I think there is genius in simplicity. I think it was Einstein who said that. I'm looking quite pale here. I'm looking quite vampirish. So the yellow lights are a bit too strong. But I think it was Einstein that said that there was this genius in simplicity. And I absolutely love this concept, not only for health, but also for business, that you don't really have to explain much to people. And, if you guys are joining as a guest and you're looking at this for the first time, what we're going to share with you is pretty powerful. It may not be for you, but I would encourage you, if you are to make a business decision and you are to look outside the box during a changing times, then there's a couple of key things we would encourage you to look at that you should have a check mark next to before you make that decision. And if it is this business, then beautiful, great. Come back to the person who invited you to the call and have a conversation to see what fits you best. But Dr. Bob, for yourself, can you take us back, first of all, about the products? What turned in your life when your son Jacob came to you and told you about, Dad, I've got a business? What was your initial reaction? And what was going on in your life right then for you to say, nah, this is not good timing?
Well, like most people, I'm busy. Clinical practice, lecture circuit, real estate, family, sports, training. We all have busy lives. And so if I was going to take on something new, it had to be something that flowed with what I was already doing, something relatively simple, something that made sense. So first thing he did is he shared that he had invested in a coffee business, which I thought was a profound statement. Keep in mind, he was still in high school. And being a good student of life, nutrition, commodities, I thought, okay, people like Warren Buffett invest in coffee. Oprah invests in tea. What in the world? How can my son, who is a lifeguard, invest in coffee? And so my simple comment, which was, a little bit flippant, but was, well, good for you, Jacob. That's awesome. He said, yeah, Dad, you're going to love it. It's healthy coffee. I said, well, better yet. And he said, well, Dad, I want you to sell it in the office. I just looked at him. I said, no, absolutely not. And he looked at me and he was a little bit dumbfounded. What do you mean? No, absolutely not. And I said, Jacob, if you look at what I do, if you look at my patients, if you look at the categories of people that I've seen, and I'll go and share a screen here. I treat some of the most elite people in the history of the planet, but I also see people at the other end of the spectrum, people that were sent home to die. And that foot, by the way, was given a death sentence, but look how much better it got. And I said, Jacob, I'm not interested in selling coffee. But then he said, well, Dad, it's infused with reishi or Ganoderma. And I went, I took a step back and I said, well, wait a minute. I've been using that in clinical practice now for at that point, 20 years. Now I'm in my 31st year. But I thought, how in the world can you make a cup of coffee that tastes good at all when you put one of the most bitter substances in the history of the planet in it? But he made me a cup, and once we got the formula right, he didn't know I liked that espresso strong, but I came to realize, well, this is actually really good coffee and it's really smooth. And with that herb in there, clearly every sip makes people better. So what was I doing? Well, I was busy. I was, adding value to the world, but I also knew that a better cup of coffee is a better cup of coffee. And people, when they make better choices, they create a better life. In this case, better health, better happiness. And if they choose, even better success.
Yeah. And it is one of those things as well. If something is a fit in your life, you have to find a way in. Everyone is unique. Everyone has their own process of thinking and of applying information. So we always have to be mindful and respectful of people's process. And I know, being so close to you, Jacob had his eyes set on recruiting his dad into this concept because he knew your level of influence, your level of success, but also your level of an attention to detail. So what was it in the details? Because I'm a details guy as well. Too much details, I think, sometimes for my own good. But what was it in the details of this particular supply of reishi that made you go, ah? And also, what was it with the company that made you go, this is something I should really look at?
Well, let me first and foremost share that if I were to go back to that picture, that, I've lectured all over the world. I've taught for some of the top nutraceutical companies, and I've taught people everything matters. When you put something in your body, you better make sure it's clean, it's safe, it's effective. And, you want to dot the I's and cross the T's. So when I researched the quality certifications of this company, I came to realize, wow, they have more quality certifications than any professional nutraceutical company that I've lectured for. And when you start looking at some of these strictest food codes, you look at USDA certified organic, EcoCert, kosher, halal, GMP, good manufacturing practice. This means it's basically processed in a clean room environment. It's tested for mold, for mycotoxins. When all the raw materials come in, if anything fails, the whole batch fails. And so you're guaranteed to have the best of the best raw materials. And if we were to just take a tangent, medicinal mushrooms are a 50 billion, that's with a B, a $50 billion a year global market, Ganoderma being the king of that. you know, just like transportation, you could get around on a pair of roller skates, or you could use the most powerful jet, you know, in the history of the planet. And that's almost a comparison. Most people, they don't know what they're getting in terms of Ganoderma. You know, something grown in a plastic bag, something so sick that the plants can't reproduce, processed in a way that who knows what quality of nutrition you're going to get from it. But we have patented processes where we maximize the nutrient delivery, and we have the highest, purest, best form on the planet. So once I came to realize that, you know, and my patients rely on me for fast results, for good results, and to keep them safe, I'll tell a story, because I do like stories and stories stick. But when I met with the Houston Rockets in reference to Yao Ming, you know, he had a challenge going on in his body at that point in time. And I made some nutrition recommendations. And there I am in this room of people that, you know, probably the shortest guy was 6'5". And they looked at me and they said, you know, if our guy flunks a drug test, you'll never practice again. Yeah, I just looked at him. I said, if your guy flunks a drug test, it's not on anything that I did, because the products I use, guaranteed potency, guaranteed purity, phenomenal insurance policies on every single one of them, where you don't have to worry about tainted, contaminated, or not meeting their label claim. Our products are that good.
You've got to be careful with that, don't you? Because it's your name, you know, it's really your name. You put your name out there, you work, you build respect in your industry, you become a world leader. You're not going to take any chances with something like that. And I think when people align themselves with something initially, they have to check that off the list. And for myself as well, you know, I wasn't going to be promoting something I didn't have a great experience with. Within my first cup, I felt like I was so switched on, focused, and energized, having a problem with my focus and attention at times. This zeroed me in. And I particularly find the red tea that I'm having now with cordyceps combined with reishi allows me to articulate words better. Or if I have to learn something, like some dialogue for a script, or really have a good quality conversation, I find it really helps me to articulate that. So I would encourage people to really pay attention to yourself when you consume this. If you're a customer, or even as someone who has been growing the business, maybe you have a testimony you don't even know, that you haven't even identified yet, you haven't realized. So take time, spend time with yourself. And as Dr. Bob said, share stories of success around what this product can do for people. And if people are business minded, you know, the penny will drop at some point. I know, Dr. Bob, you have a partner that recently had a drastic turnaround in her health. You don't need to go into details if that hasn't been given permission for, but had a huge turnaround in her health, and it's just kind of organically gone on a share rampage of what this can do for your health, and has sponsored, I think, over 70 or 80 partners.
You know, it might be 100 by now, Eric.
Wow.
And so, you know, she put this on her Instagram page. She was ill. She was having problems. Doctors weren't helping her. And she said, you know, I'm desperate. I'll try anything. And, you know, she's within our organization, and a wonderful woman named Shannon had shared with her, look, you know, I don't know if this will help, but it sure won't hurt. And she posted on her Instagram pictures, if you're ready for this, of a tapeworm that she passed. Now, when you look at a beautiful, healthy, fit, in every way, vibrant, wonderful young lady, you might think, oh my God, what the heck was that doing inside of her? Well, I'll tell you what, one of my mentors taught me, when it comes to toxins and parasites, it's not us against them, it's us with them. So we're constantly exposed. And if we don't create the right environment in our body, these things they can start setting up shop and stealing our food and intoxicating ourselves. So she had that going on. And just by taking Ganoderma spore capsules, and she wasn't even consuming the King of Coffee. She was actually, this will sound strange if people aren't familiar with it, she was putting it in her backside in the form of coffee enemas, passed a massive tapeworm. And just like that, instead of all the nutrition being stolen from her body, it started nourishing her body. She posted that and she told people, oh my gosh, I made one simple change and I feel better than I have in a long, long time. And you know, I could actually just up to date. It was a matter of a few weeks ago. She had already introduced 78 new people to the product. She said, this is so fantastic. Put it in your body will thank you. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 100. I could probably count it quick, but she is on a mission to make the world better, and she's got the right story to do it.
Yeah, there's no, and just if you joined us late, guys, we're not asking you to do anything strange with our products, out of the ordinary, that is. But when you're in a desperate situation, you will look at all avenues to kind of rectify that. So and funnily enough, we do mention digestion. We will be touching on the importance of gut health on Tuesday's Ask the Doctor health call. So you're all welcome to that one. We're going to have some great information there, the importance of gut health. But it just shows you the power of experience, doesn't it really? When someone has an experience, they overcome it, they want to tell people about it. And that is really the nuts and bolts and energy, or sort of energy, but the root of network marketing is you don't need advertising. You don't need huge overheads. You need connection. You need personal referral, and you need trust. You need to earn trust to share this with people. And that's exactly what she did. So is this business for everyone? No. Can it be for everyone if they make a decision to go out there and share? Yeah, absolutely. And that lady definitely demonstrated that. What's your experience with network marketing, particularly, Dr. Bob? I know you had some mixed feelings about the industry or the profession a few years ago because of some information that was shared with you from someone who wasn't successful. Could you touch on your paradigm shift when it comes to network marketing?
Yeah, of
and
course.
Why you think it's a better model?
Well, when you look at all of life, I don't care what field you're in. We have more people that don't win than do. And sometimes people in network marketing, they understand, wow, I can build this absolutely massive business. And if I get a few influencers, well, then my life is good. Well, I would have patients come into my office. And while I was very busy with patients, they would essentially take my time, take time from other people, not take no for the answer, to share with me why I needed to be in their business and how I could, just get so rich and help so many people. And I'd have to cut them off. I'd say, wait a minute, I'm here taking care of patients. I've got people waiting on me. I'm not here for you to sell me something. I'm here to help you with your health. And, if we're going to have a conversation, we'll have it later. And Eric, that happened so many times that ultimately I put a sign on my front door that literally said these words, and I would phrase it differently now, but I said, network marketers not welcome, period, end of story. Because they were stealing from me and my patients in terms of time. Now, over time, I came to realize that there were people that were in network marketing that were plugged into personal development, that were rock solid individuals that were creating a better future for themselves and their family. But these weren't the people that, essentially spoiled my impression for the rest of the world. You look at really good networkers. What do? They make friends and they meet their friends. And their primary goal is, can I add value to your world? And here's what we know. We reap what we sow, but not necessarily where we sow. So if we keep adding value, keep adding value, keep adding value, ultimately it comes back. And I want to give Hugh and a lot of people I see on the screen huge compliments for just being committed to helping people have a better life.
That must have been frustrating, all right. And certainly I've heard this time and time again from people who are building successful network marketing businesses across the globe, even in other companies as well, that skills are the most important attribute when it comes to being successful. So, if you have great skills before this business, yes, you can apply some of them, but you certainly need to be very well in tune with listening and asking good questions. So that's where I think this is really epic time to start a business like this, because there are so many people who need help with their health. There are so many people who are looking for other ways to make income without having to overhaul their life. So part-time, I know Jim Rohn used to always speak about this, is the genius of part-time. You have built a huge business in the last 10 years part-time. So if people are looking at this and they're thinking, well, no, I'm busy. Can you just explain what you've been able to do with 10 hours a week alongside of 4 or 5 other businesses?
Well, Eric, if you focus on the right thing, if you focus on adding value, if you focus on sharing good education about great products that are above and beyond everything else, ultimately someone's going to say, well, you know what, let me give this a shot. Let me try it. And we just talked about Brittany. She said, well, let me try it. Now, were there any guarantees? Is this going to get rid of your tapeworm? Or do you get feel better? There were no guarantees. It's perfectly safe. It's clean. There's lots of medical research. There's 5,000 years of human clinical trial. Try it. I multiple times a day, I'll get a question, will it help me or my loved one with this? And I answer it exactly the same every time. I don't know if it'll help, but it sure won't hurt. Let's give it a try. And we've seen at times absolutely life-changing, life-saving, life-enhancing shifts. So what have I done? Well, consistently, I might miss a few days a year, but let's say I'm in for at least 360 days a year where I just make a few connections, say a few hellos, ask people what's going on in your world. And then ultimately, one of the questions that I send to people is I say, look, in honor of the passing of my mentor, Bob Proctor, he would consistently ask, is there anything I can do to add value to you or your life? So I'm asking, can I help you in any way? And people reply back sometimes with the strangest things. One guy told me, he says, well, yeah, I could use about $10,000 right now. And my reply was, you know what? I've helped other people earn that. If you want to earn it, let's go to work together. And so you can build a bridge wherever. Now, am I going to give him 10,000? No, but look at the philosophy. Teach a man to fish. He's going to eat for a lifetime. Give him a fish. He gets a meal. So let's teach people to fish.
I love that. That's such a great, approach for people as well, because I think a lot of people will approach business from the standpoint of what's in it for me. How do I get, but miss the bigger picture of what is the service you're providing? How well are you going to provide that service? How interested are you in people over how interested are you in getting paid? I think there is a happy medium of being interested, being value driven, being transparent, and being authentic, as well as being ambitious and all those other good things that were required to grow a business. So you've kind of just done that so well over the years. And, it's great to see yourself and Kelly helping so many people, from myself and Isa. Could you share some of the other individuals you've been able to help? And I see a lot of people on this call as well who have, had such great wins with your mentorship as well. And if you guys want to open up to conversation on that as well in a few moments, it would be great to hear that. But could you just share one or two individuals that you really have excelled in your mentorship, Dr. Bob, and kind of taken this business to the next level?
Well, let's share two people that have built phenomenal international businesses, both being very busy, both being part-time. I'll tell the story of Diane Solano. She was she is a world-class nutritionist and orthomolecular nutritionist. She was attending a seminar that I was teaching, and now it's either 7 or 8 years ago. But, she asked me at lunchtime, she said, do you have time for a conversation? I said, well, of course. What's on your mind? She said, well, since I last saw you, my life's very, very different. I'm a mom now. Well, I said, congratulations. She says, well, things didn't work out with dad. So basically I'm a single mom now, and I'm really struggling. I took time off of practice to be home with my son. And now I need to make money fast. So do you have any tips on how I can get patients fast? Well, and I looked at her, I said, well, let me ask you a question. What do you think is easier, getting a new nutrition patient or sharing a cup of coffee? And she laughed and she wondered if that was a serious question. I said, well, it is a serious question. She said, well, obviously sharing a cup of coffee. I said, well, let me share one with you. And we had the conversation. I told her what was better. And she said, well, Dr. Bob, if you're in, I'm in. And guess what? She's built a multi-million-dollar global organization. And we can talk about the finances there, but let's just say that she makes more money from home, part-time, being a full-time mom and a homeschool mom after the pandemic and taking care of her aging mother than she ever made full-time as a nutritionist. And then we could even transition to Emily Morrow, who shared with someone who shared with someone who shared with someone who shared with Brittany, the woman that, has 100 people that she's introduced to the product in a very short period of time. But Emily's, very clear on her full disclosure. So I'm not blocking medical privacy. She was referred to me as a patient. And she had 2 different autoimmune diseases. If you look at her, she's absolutely beautiful, vibrant, healthy, smart, everything else. but she was 30 pounds overweight, jaundiced, and had no energy. And as part of a complete protocol with 2 autoimmune circumstances, we put her on Ganoderma spores and changed her coffee. Well, things changed around so fast. And ultimately, Emily was busy. She did have a nutrition practice. She had a lot of other things going. She said, well, I don't really have time for a business. And she had a bad experience with network marketing. She said, I'm not interested with network marketing. But she was sharing her story, and people were saying, well, wait a minute, I want some of that. Well, next thing you know, I think she personally sponsored over 800 people in the business because her story is that powerful. And she crossed millions in sales in just 2 years. So can it happen? Well, absolutely it can. And those are 2 great examples.
That's amazing. It's so great to hear those stories as well, because everyone, has a way in. Like I said at the start of the call, everyone has a way in. If there's hunger there, there is desire there to do something. Everyone will work at their own pace anyway. But I think if you really find your unique story and your unique way of sharing what's going on in your life, people will see it for what it is. They really will. And they will want to help. They will want to connect you with other people. So if that's you and you're looking at this business and wondering, well, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, you don't need to be. Absolutely not. You just be your best self. And we have some amazing groups on Facebook. And we're also working on some other tools as well for people to be able to use. But essentially, you put people around the information. We don't need to be the expert. I think that's one of the things in life. T. Harv Eckert, a very interesting guy. He wrote the book Speed Wealth, which in turn actually is where I came up with the name for my health portion of my business, which was Speed Health. All right. So success leaves clues, right? But T. Harv Eckert said, if you become the main cog in your wheel, you will essentially or eventually become the main clog in the wheel. So we have an incredible wheel of people like Dr. Rakowski, Kelly Rakowski, Jacob Rakowski, Pete Cohen, Zaf Khan, you name it, people who are surrounding us in this business to be able to share stories and success. So you don't need to be the success story. You can share other people like Dan Solano or Emily Moore, whoever it may be that you resonate with and who resonates most with your audience. So I would encourage you, don't let yourself sabotage yourself in an incredible opportunity for you to change someone's life as well as your own by thinking you need to be an expert. You simply do not. We have a great community that open our arms to people who are willing and ready to share. But when it comes to Organo itself, Dr. Bob, we have a couple of unique things rock and rolling right now when it comes to IBM and the digital franchise itself. Could you just touch on some of the benefits of having a digital franchise, having a home-based business, and what makes it so unique to have this partnership with the likes of the IBM Food Trust?
Well, there's a phrase I like because it flows so nice. It says, we've gone from a society of brick and mortar to a society of click and order. So you start thinking about Amazon. I mean, they've taken over the world because people click and it appears at their door. But you know what? Plenty of businesses were doing that before Amazon. They just decided to take over that space in terms of making the broadest offering ever. But when you start looking at Organo, it's click and order. You can order from your phone, you can share from your phone. Right now, we've got the phone for Instagram, the laptop for this. I've got a business. And so my brick and mortar business, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars every single month in overhead, and I have to treat that many patients, provide that much service, sell that much product just to pay my overhead. What's my overhead on this business? I don't know. I buy $100 or more a month worth of product. Actually, we always buy a ton because we sell it in the clinic, but $100 a month in terms of product, and then whatever your internet connection is. And those are your expenses. Now compare that to any type of business that you were to set up brick and mortar, we're talking about $55,000. So when you start talking about IBM, we have a partnership with IBM. It's called IBM Trust. There's a barcode on any of the products. People can scan it and they can find out, okay, where did the raw materials come from? What are the quality certifications? The idea, Stephen Covey wrote the book, The Speed of Trust. Well, there's plenty of stuff out there that's really not trustworthy. So why not just show them, okay, here's exactly where it is. Here's the quality certifications. And after they do it a few times, they come to realize, well, this company is really trustworthy. And by the way, I trust how my body feels, and my body feels really, really good on this. And they've created those types of partnerships. Now, another thing I like to tell people is they hired away the global logistics expert for the company UPS. That's a global shipping company. And they said, we want to make sure that we don't have disruptions in our supply chain. And, being connected to so many people in so many different businesses, we've had a couple of minor day or two hiccups in terms of supply chain, because some shipments were withheld months on end. But generally speaking, this has been so smooth, you wouldn't even know there was anything unusual going on in the world, because our products are being delivered to people on time with superior quality in a way that they can enjoy it. And that's what the company's all about. They want to be essentially the Apple of network marketing. They want to be the company that raises the standard for everybody else. And they do it in so many ways.
Awesome. I had something to add to that, but I need more red tea. But all joking aside, I see just in the chat, I'm going to check just the chat real quick. I thought I saw a comment here. Hello is here. I see from Louise, yeah, amen to that, Dr. Bob. The overheads to brick and mortar business is fast becoming excruciating. Online network marketing is the way to go. From the hot tub, she says, in style. I love that. Zaf, we will most definitely send on this recording as well. Actually, Zaf, while you're there, if your connection is there.
Eric, your sound cut. I don't know why, but I'm not hearing you, bud. Barely. You're not coming through Zoom anymore.
How about now, Dr. Bob?
Right on. Well done. Sound check complete.
Perfect. I was just saying before I exited the internet building there, Zaf, if you have connection, it would be great just to hear your experience so far, what you're most excited about, and what your success has been so far as well in the business. Are you there, Zaf?
Hey, Mr. Eric, I'm here. Just give me a second. I'm just putting on the ring light.
No worries. Great to have you on the call. And I see your mom. Is your mom here as well? Rose as well. Welcome, Rose. Great to have you in. As we say, we wouldn't be here without moms. And we appreciate all the lady warriors around the world. You guys are amazing. But while Zaf is sorting out his ring lights, Dr. Bob, there's a couple of ways to get started for people if they're not already in the business. Could you just touch on how does that work and what levels can people begin this journey at?
Sure.
Zaf,
I always tell people when they fall in love with the product, they can be a retail customer, they can be a wholesale buyer, they could choose to get paid essentially to consume and share the product. We get customers and we help our customers get customers. But the company has things called accelerator packs, good, better, or best, bronze, silver, or gold. And when people know they want to build a big business, well, gold is the way to go. If they want to dip their toe in the water, they might go with a bronze pack, or the intermediate pack is silver. But either way, whatever they spend, they get that much in product. And then they access everything in the Organo line at wholesale prices for a year. And the renewal a year later is just $25 US. So just an absolutely phenomenal opportunity to get great products. I tell people by the time they buy their third box of coffee, they're ahead of the game. So it makes sense and can make a lot of dollars too, to become part of the team. Hello, Zaf.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Bob. Hey, Eric. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic, Zaf.
Wonderful. Yeah, with Organo, I can say, every single day, there's always something new with someone. One of the people on the call as well, Zelma, who hasn't had coffee for about 20 years, fell in love with the latte. She's feeling great. It's really amazing because, we've helped people along the way. Like when we first started Organo, it was about the money because we needed it. And one thing I realized is the more you need money, the more it runs away. So when you start adding value, and the money tends to follow you. So that's what we began doing. And, we also got a special in South Africa, which just only comes once or twice a year, where you buy 3 boxes and you get 1 free. Now that 1 free box has 30 sachets of black. That could be 30 possibilities of someone dropping into your business, and you never know. I mean, it's a free box of coffee. Do whatever you want with it, have it for yourself, sell it. But it's amazing, as Dr. Bob always mentions, the best promoters get promoted, and that's what we do. So whenever there's an event you want to promote, whenever there's a Zoom call you want to promote, because no one could say the science and the facts better than Dr. Bob himself, and you want to get your people on there because it's simple as that. I mean, you have no excuse to not build your business, and that's how I began building, just putting people onto Pete Cohen until I had the confidence on doing it on my own. Now I don't even do a 3-way with Pete Cohen, right? Because he's busy with his life, and I'm also doing more. So that's how we build this business. We create leaders, and I'm so happy to have Eric, Mr. Pete, Hannah, Kelly Rakowski, and Dr. Bob in our business. And you know what? They are available to all of you. So all you got to do is just use them to build your business. It's that simple.
Love it, Zaf. Eric, someone put in a note on Instagram that they couldn't hear Zaf's voice. So
sure, I didn't want to interrupt when Zaf started. Yeah, it was just because Zaf is not on Instagram currently, guys. So we weren't taking a moment of silence for any reason. It was simply.
Eric, if I do this, actually, I can't hear even myself. Huh.
Feedback, I can hear it coming through there. It's fine. It's fine. Zaf, we might do a triple threat on Instagram someday if the connection holds up. But guys, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to whoever shared this with you. If you're joining live on Instagram or Zoom, please put it in the chat here if you do have a question right now. And if not, it would be great to see you all on our Tuesday health call around the importance of gut health. I think you've heard earlier from that testimony. Gut health is pretty critical when it comes to your overall health. And we don't want foreign invaders stealing our food and stealing our life. We want to make sure we win that war in the gut. So I don't see any questions coming in currently. So Dr. Bob, in record time, I would say, I will leave the last closing words and action steps over to you, sir.
Well, I'm actually going to finish up with the words of Jim Rohn, the guy that was a college dropout in the 1960s, launched Tony Robbins, built a fortune in network marketing. At his death, his network was estimated to be $500 million. Not bad for a farm boy from Idaho. But at any rate, he would wrap up a meeting like this. He'd say, well, I have 4 questions for you. The first question is why? Why'd you take the time from your busy day or evening to join us? And his second question was the answer to the first. Why not? Why not plug into a community that's committed to making the world better with better products and easy systems and create your own click and order empire? The third question is why not you? Someone's going to say, this makes sense. I know I don't have to be an expert. The world drinks coffee. This is better coffee with patented competitive advantages, with a company that's in 39 countries with global strategic partnerships and growing. And the final question is why not now? So the reality is the longer you wait to act on information, the least likely you are to act on it. So if you're already part of the team, act on it and share. Reach out to someone, invite them to Unite April 9. If you're not yet part of the team, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, because every day this team grows, adds value. And the more value that you add, the more certainly comes back to you. That's just how this beautiful world works. So I always wrap up with these words. I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. So good night all, or good day all, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bob. Ciao, everyone. Have a great weekend.